Banks of the Dodder to a redeveloped Lansdowne Road that the Dubliners quite simply call the Aviva. This is where two very different football seasons and summers are about to collide under one large sloping roof. As Arsenal arrive as the champions of England for the first time in 22 years, a stat that I'm sure the red side of North London have been repeating ever since that was officially crowned, but still feels extraordinary every single time that you say it. Mikel Arteta's side went agonisingly close to a historic 2-2, only for Paris Saint-Germain to break Gunners' hearts on penalties in Budapest. So this is a team with a taste of glory and still a point to prove. And knocking 4 past Girona at the last weekend when the new £34 million signing of Christos Zolis, the Greek international, off the mark. 16-year-old Max Dowman impressing ever still, pushing on with the new season in his sights. Well, Real Betis, meanwhile, they arrive in the capital of Ireland on the back of arguably one of the finest seasons in modern history. Manuel Pellegrini, a man who knows a thing or two about English Premier League, with former stints with success at Manchester City and previously at West Ham United. 72 years old and still working magic, steering them to 5th in La Liga and their first Champions League campaign in 2 decades. Excitement around the streets of Seville as both sets of teams now make their way out of the tunnel at the Aviva, led by a familiar face for the Arsenal fans in particular. The long straggly haired, cool look, thick upper lip of hair image of Hector Bellerin, alongside the captain for Arsenal this evening in Ben White. I'm Jonathan Blakely, your commentator. I'm delighted to be bringing you this live pre-season friendly. Well, the two-team lineups, they are as follows. It's unchanged for Arsenal and Mikel Arteta from that 4-1 victory against Girona at the weekend. And of the 17 players named on the bench, 10 of them are members of the under-21 side, the much-coveted Arsenal Academy. Other players joining on the bench: Gabriela Martinelli returning from World Cup duty with Brazil, whilst Rice, Saka and Madueke still yet to return from their duties with England, as are world champions Marino and Raya with Spain. So Kepa Arrizabalaga starts between the sticks with the back four of Mosquera and Hincapié, flanked either side by Calafiori and the captain Ben White. And a midfield trio with Nwaneri, Luis Skelly in his new position in midfield alongside Kai Havertz. Victor Gyökeres, the lone striking Swede, flanked either side by new arrival Christos Zolis and youthful exuberance in Max Dowman. Well, Manuel Pellegrini, he has named 9 changes to the side from their 1-0 victory on Saturday against Almira, with the only players holding their place in youth team prospects of Pablo Garcia and Buare Yangoro. Those 9 changes, also one of them, by the way, of Hector Bellerin, the former fullback for Arsenal. 239 senior appearances for the club, with 9 goals scored and 29 assists to his name, as well as a host of appearances for the under-21 and academy sides. So a real moment for Hector Bellerin here, facing his former employers. So Alvaro Valles starts between the sticks for Real Betis, with new arrival Fran Garcia and Hector Bellerin playing full-back alongside of Mark Bartara and Nathan. And then a midfield trio with Bernal Falcundo Ganyoro and ex-West Ham player Pablo Fornals, with Rodrigo Riquelme and Pablo Garcia playing either side of a man adjusting to a new position, usually holding as a central midfielder in Nelson Diosa, but being trialled a lot more further upfield this coming season. But there are a couple of players notably on the bench for either side. Ilham Meslier has the chance to come onto the field to get further fresh minutes in his legs since his arrival from Leeds United. And other big name players for Arsenal by the way of Gabriel Jesus, as well as Reece Nelson and Vieira. And as said, 10 players on the bench for Arsenal, all players from the under-21s. And for Real Betis, notable names on the bench by way of the regular captain Isco, and also a man familiar with Manchester United fans, of which there are plenty here in Dublin, by way of Anthony, as well as Junior Firpo, former Leeds United fullback. And it is a packed house here in the Aviva, a stronghold of Arsenal support as always this side of the Irish Sea. And Arsenal tonight, they will be in their all changed gold strip. I The yellow gold strip with a blue trim round the neck and blue shorts. Real Betis, well, they will be in their all too traditional green and white striped shirt. A classy affair as always, Real Betis. Such an exciting time laying ahead for them. The Champions League in their sights this coming season. Well, it is going to be Arsenal that do get us underway. They will be kicking from right to left. Real Betis, they will be kicking from left to right as the flames lick higher from the stand opposite where we are. Not quite as warm as it has been down in London for those travelling Arsenal fans who have come over to Ireland for this game. But there certainly will be a sense of warmth in the air over that side of the Aviva, of which this is the first time that these two have faced each other. And it will be Betis' first trip to Dublin in particular. Arsenal last playing here in a friendly against Chelsea at the Aviva Stadium as well for the 2018-19 season. A stronghold of red shirts filling the stands high in what is usually the Republic of Ireland's both football and rugby national stadium, usually awash in a sea of green. But that pocket of green is held and reserved from those that have travelled from Seville. It's a partisan crowd of Arsenal, red and white, despite Arsenal playing in their changed yellowish strip with navy shorts and navy socks, and a chance immediately to break up this left-hand side near the edge of the area with Havertz in towards Gyökeres, one-on-one, cleared off the line and just about dealt with, but still Betis need to clear their lines, and they do just that. And an early opportunity for the Gunners inside the first minute here in Dublin. Victor Gyökeres couldn't quite open up his body in time to get that shot away. Really a glorious start for Arsenal. That 4-1 victory on their game at the weekend. Excellent form for them against Girona. Also beating MK Dons, and they will be playing in the Emirates Cup this weekend against Borussia Dortmund before taking on Como, and then that trip to Cardiff for the Community Shield for the season opener. That one on the 16th of August, playing there because the weekend is playing in Wembley. So the big name American refusing to part way for the Community Shield, but we are going to see a free kick now for Arsenal. Zolis to take this one midway inside the Betis half, up the right, squared short towards White. Infield towards Skelly, looped in towards the right edge of the box, headed away as Betis scramble to try and get some time on the ball in the opening exchanges here in Dublin. Nwaneri into the box, but straight towards the pink-stripped Alvaro Valles. Pumps that ball immediately high into the air up the left-hand side of the field as Pablo Fornals tried to break away instead, but receiving a face palm from Lewis Skelly. The referee allowing play to continue. Arsenal with a chance to break. Calafiori up the left, midway inside the Betis half, short towards Zolis, but Zolis immediately brought down. Arsenal not holding around or slowing things down in this friendly. Far be it from a friendly with how much expectancy is going to be on their shoulders from not only their fans but also from curious onlookers from further afield to see if they can hold their own as defending champions in the Premier League. And immediately given away straight again, Nwaneri clearing up on the loose pass. Betis again scrambling to get numbers back up this right hand side of the area. Dauman turning away from the simple threat of Falcundo. Lewis Skelly squared to the left towards Calafiori, still midway inside this Betis half, now with Zolis. Zolis to Calafiori, the loose pass played all the way back, but keeping it alive is Hincapié, just off this near left-hand touchline. Squared in field towards Lewis Skelly. Arsenal plenty of time and joy on the ball in front of what I'm sure are a fair number of locals, as well as those that have travelled over from North London as well. Real Betis finally getting some time on the ball, breaking up this right-hand side of the field with Pablo Garcia, laying a ball off to the edge of the D in the Arsenal area, but good defending in the end there from Mosquera. Arsenal for the first time in the evening having to rely on a little bit of defensive duty here in Dublin. 4 minutes gone, Arsenal 0, Betis 0. As Real Betis looking to get some time on the ball for the first time and winning themselves a free kick. This one midway inside the Arsenal half up the left-hand channel. Rodrigo Riquelme just feeling the full force of that tackle there from Miles Lewis Skelly. And I'm sure that we will see a large number of changes being made either at half-time or on the hour mark, which is always the commentator's fear when it comes to pre-season friendlies. We almost feel like Bart Simpson at the chalkboard, having to scramble along to get those new names down on the sheet before us. But Pablo Fornals is just lining up alongside this free kick, midway inside the Arsenal half, level with the left side of the penalty area. He's got Pablo Garcia for close company as well with those short socks laid off. Garcia into the box off the 6-yard area, but Arrizabalaga comes to clear the ball away in his all-silvered goalkeeper number as Arsenal now looking to break away up this left-hand side. Solis released with one touch, cute in field to get the better of Fran Garcia, but a deflection coming off of the Greek international, going out for an Arsenal throw-in. Sorry, for a Betis throw-in midway inside of their own half. And well, for Real Betis, there is a little bit of a story in play for them with a link to Dublin. A man named Patrick O'Connell was the manager of Real Betis for their only La Liga title back in 1935. Born and raised Dubliner. And the Real Betis fan group travelled to his home where he was born in Dublin today to pay their respects to the only manager who has overseen a La Liga title to their name. Man who has also been credited for saving Barcelona from ruin after and during the Spanish Civil War. So a real link for Real Betis in Dublin. I'm sure it's a momentous moment for those Betis fans, loyal as anything down in Seville. And I'm sure that the warmth over this side of Europe has been nothing for them. It's always blisteringly hot in the summer in Seville. Not just famous for the oranges, but also for two standouts of Spanish football. Arsenal now on the ball, both of these teams in Champions League football this coming season. Soon to find out their fate in their draw and ties for the 8 games that they will be playing in the still yet to be figured out new format of the Champions League, the large league table phase, as Arsenal break up towards Gyökeres, 10 yards from the edge of the area towards Calafiori, but Hector Bellerin coming across, clearing the ball away just about in time as Falcundo plays squared to the right towards Pablo Garcia, coming in field with a squared ball back towards Natan. And Natan just being told to slow down and switching out to the former Real man in Fran Garcia. Rodrigo Riquelme midway inside of the Betis half. Boire Gancoro gets one of his first touches on the game, just one of those 2 players featuring in that friendly at the weekend for Real Betis. Arsenal, though, their season kicking off fully against Coventry. That one, the opening game for the Premier League, Friday the 21st of August at 8 p.m. That one at the Emirates, the champions of the Premier League facing the champions of the Championship. Frank Lampard returning to a place that he knows well to be a foe, but Betis now with the ball 10 yards from the right edge of the area, shot from range, dangerous looking for Pablo Garcia, forcing Arrizabalaga to palm straight towards Mosquera, clearing with no danger whatsoever, and that one is going to go out instead for a corner for Real Betis. Pablo Garcia with a rifling effort, opening up space on the left hand of the left foot of his, those bright white boots, claiming ownership of that ball. But Arrizabalaga just diving down to his right hand side, palming the ball away. Manuel Pellegrini leaping off his seat. Here comes Fornal now, swung to the near post, driving down. Here's a chance, open goal at the back post, and Real Betis have taken the lead for Rodrigo Riquelme. And it was Kepa Arrizabalaga clutching at air and falling down almost under his own weight as Fornals swings a corner to the back post, where Rodrigo Riquelme was just lying in wait, looking to volley the ball into an open net. And on the 9th minute of the game here in Dublin, it is Arsenal 0, Real Betis 1. A superb start for them. Arrizabalaga just jumping straight into an abyss almost. A little nudge at the back, but not enough on it to be a foul, in my honest opinion. And Real Betis take the lead here in Dublin against Arsenal. The Arsenal defenders caught up amongst themselves in the middle when the ball dropped right before Kepa. And Riquelme just had one simple task: to take the ball down and volley the ball into a relatively open net. As Betis take the lead, 9 minutes gone here in Dublin. Arsenal 0, Betis 1. And the perfect start for Manuel Pellegrini. They will be facing another Premier League side in Bournemouth this coming Saturday before their own final taste of pre-season against Inter Milan, the Italian champions. And there the Liga campaign kicks off at home against Real Sociedad. Oyarzabal, one of the heroes of the Spanish side, employed by Real Sociedad. That one also kicking off on Friday the 21st of August at the same time of 8 o'clock. And a big season ahead for both sides. Arsenal looking to claim ownership of the Premier League title back-to-back. Real Betis, for the first time in nearly 2 decades, get a crack at the Champions League whip. The Champions League at the moment going through the qualifying preliminary stages at the moment, as well as for the Europa League and the Conference League as well. There's a strong Arsenal 11 out here, as well as a much stronger Betis 11 in comparison to the one that faced Almira on Saturday evening, winning 1-0. A lot more like it in terms of regular expected starters. A number of potential starters also on the bench in Llorente, Anthony Hernandez, Isco and Junior Firpo. So I'm sure we'll see a fair number of changes for Manuel Pellegrini at half-time as Arteta continues to prowl the edges of the technical area, testing the resolve of that white line as we've seen so many times over the seasons gone by. With a far more summery looking cream trousered number than the all black or charcoal or grey that we likely see Arteta donning. So far Arsenal with a bright start in this friendly, but falling away and dropping back a little bit deeper, allowing Betis to break away in for that corner. It was initially brought about by Pablo Garcia's fierce-driven effort towards Kepa Arrizabalaga. And Fornals' corner just dropping into a mess in the box for Arsenal standards. And straight to the comfort of Riquelme. As Nkapie squares across the centre circle to the captain White, back towards Mosquera, just inside of their own half. Arsenal on the ball as Lewis Skelly drops deep to offer some support. The young man found, who sends the ball out towards Nkapie, slightly laboured, but Nkapie does keep the ball alive, just about crossing in towards the D, but headed away in the end by Nathan. As Betis look to break away again with Fornals laying off a delightful ball up this right-hand channel, midway into the Arsenal half, played back in towards Pablo Fornals. Fornals squared to the right, happy to keep the ball alive between himself and Bellerin before switching infield towards Bernal Falcundo. Yancoro played out towards Fran Garcia and back towards Buare Bancoro. Betis with the ball inside their own half, off the centre circle. Not quite a field of bright pink boots as we saw at the World Cup as well. That was the standout fashion statement in the World Cup. A field of pink boots, as the ball has been laid off by Fornals on the oncoming run from Bellerin, going out for an Arsenal throw-in midway inside of their own half. A lot of us commentators were wondering if the pink boots were going to make a crossover into the new season. It seemed to be that peach was the new black last year, pink the new black in the summer. And we are all on tenterhooks waiting to see exactly what it's going to be. There's a fair amount of white boots coming here. It's almost like the mid-noughties all over again of the Tiempos as Arsenal look to break up this right-hand side, but a heavy touch onwards in the end from Ben White. As Betis take no chances with the ball all the way back to the bright pinkly coloured Alvaro Valles between the sticks. Garcia looking to lay the ball up the line. White getting a big interception, but straight to the Betis bodies who clear the ball upfield as Lewis Skelly goes down, feeling full contact from behind, winning a free kick for Arsenal. This one around 6 yards inside of the Arsenal half. Pablo Fornals, the guilty party, just coming over to check on the young man, who's now moved into a lot more of a central and defensive midfield position for Arsenal, starting to slowly adjust to that position throughout last season. Much more seasoned as a fullback, but Calafiori holding that position that Lewis Skelly usually knows. But this time playing alongside almost like a midfield three, with Ethan Nwaneri back from his loan from Marseille alongside Kai Havertz. Disappointing World Cup for him and the German national side, going out to Paraguay after the group stage on penalties. Jurgen Klopp now stepping into the fray for Die Mannschaft. As Real Betis now on the ball, 15 minutes gone here in the Irish capital. Arsenal 0, Betis 1. Rodrigo Riquelme on the 9th minute from a corner, the first corner of the game, tucking the ball into the back of a somewhat relatively open net. Kepa Arrizabalaga clutching at empty air in a body of Arsenal defenders, allowing that space to be found. And there is some talk of Kepa Arrizabalaga potentially making moves in this summer transfer window. A big talk coming through from some sources indicating that the incoming of Guimaraes to Arsenal is a pending transfer waiting to be formally announced. As words have cooled a little bit more upon Vinicius Junior's potential arrival to North London. Bruno Guimaraes certainly exciting a lot of those in North London with his arrival from Newcastle United. As Betis have the ball now just inside of their own half up this left-hand channel. Fran Garcia playing back towards Jan Caro, more than happy to keep the ball alive at the moment, waiting for Arsenal players to come onto them. I said this certainly isn't the full complement for Arsenal. They're giving the players who went that little bit deeper in the World Cup some further time to recover after their very strenuous summer, but immediately given away straight away as the goal scorer Riquelme squares to the left but straight to the yellow Arsenal shirts as Max Daumann gets on the ball, wonderfully confident, looking to break up the right hand side, but easily dispossessed in the end. Laid off now, Betis, left edge of the Arsenal penalty area, laid on the deck towards the edge of the box, take no chances from Ranieri, and that one is going to go out for the second corner of the evening for Real Betis, to be taken on the same side from where they took the lead. And Pablo Fornals once again coming over to claim ownership of this corner, looking for yet another ball to be swung into the box with that right foot, successfully finding the back post, and Riquelme again swung in towards the edge of the area, this time dealt with well enough by Havertz, rising highest. Bellerin picking up on the loose ball, played back towards the right side of the centre circle as Fran Garcia plays a somewhat laboured ball back towards Valles. Valles miles outside of his goal, sending a ball long but only finding Mosquera taking a heavy touchdown, nearly allowing Riquelme to pounce, and still with a little bit of work here to do Mosquera. With Saliba injured and Gabriel on the bench, it is Hincapié and Mosquera yet again who form the centre-back partnership for the Gunners in a friendly. Two of them very much seen as the backup options for the Gunners off the bench or in cup duties. Gabriel and Saliba, a formidable back pair for Arsenal in their title triumph last year. Ruthless at the back and also even in attack as well. The corner's the most potent threat that Arsenal had at all times. Such dangerous deliveries in from yet another player who won't feature tonight in Declan Rice. As Betis now have the ball inside of the Arsenal half up the left-hand side, but a wonderful tackle coming in then from Daumann, receiving a round of applause from those Arsenal fans on that further side of the field. There's plenty of the Betis fans are pocketed around the Arsenal red numbers that are there in the crowd, but a lot of the Betis fans gathered in this significantly smaller tiered stand to the left-hand side. The Aviva, a stadium of three big standing tiers, and then almost dropping into this one solitary tier, which is already given away towards Valles. Zoles to play into the middle, but oh my goodness, almost very nearly calamitous there from Alvaro Valles, holding up a hand in apology, seemingly with plenty of time inside of his own penalty area, in front of that tiny stand I was just referencing, and giving the ball straight towards Zoles, who I'm sure didn't expect the ball, hence the heavy touch onwards, but Betis getting away, and in particular Valles with egg on his face. As Betis look to break up this near side deep into the Arsenal half, Pablo Garcia giving away a throw-in. That was almost a calamitous moment, allowing Arsenal right back into the friendly here in Dublin. Nearing the 20th minute of the game, Arsenal 0, Betis 1. That goal on the 9th minute from Rodrigo Riquelme, making the difference so far here in the Irish capital. And these are only friendly games, but they start to creep into the final few weeks before the season begins. And players and managers are always looking to utilise tactics going into the coming season, as well as adjusting for new signings. Ball laid up towards Gyökeres, shielding the ball off the right edge of the box. Nathan putting a big foot in front, a little bit too big for the eyes of the referee, and it is going to be a free kick for Arsenal. This one almost right on the very chalk of the 18-yard line. Left side of the penalty area, up that further side of the Aviva, with Nathan just getting an arm or two a bit too close for comfort around the midriff of the Swedish international. And so a good chance from a free kick here for Arsenal to find a leveller after almost being gifted an opportunity by Alvaro Valles. He's passing the ball straight towards Solis off the edge of the penalty area. Just jinked the ball a bit too aggressively to the right of him, where Gyökeres was not ready or prepared to pounce on a ball like that. But a good chance here then for Arsenal to try and find themselves a leveller on the 20th minute. With Havertz and Dauman stood over this free kick, as well as Nwaneri. And Nwaneri seemingly telling Dauman to move aside, and it is going to be Nathan Nwaneri to take this free kick. Left-footed, hooked, but catching the top of the wall as Fornals looks to try and keep the ball alive. Short towards Pablo Garcia. Heavy touch himself there, though, turning into danger, giving straight back towards Arsenal shirts. Solis now, 5 yards off the left edge of the area, waiting to put the ball onto the right foot and finding Calafiori instead. Lewis Skelly back towards Calafiori, into the Betis third now off this left-hand side of the field with Solis. And Arsenal forced all the way back towards the halfway line and over that line towards Kepa, before squaring to the Arsenal captain Ben White. And Arsenal forced all the way back midway inside their own half yet again. Wonderful shape from Real Betis. So we are nearing the midway point of this first half. All eyes soon turning to the referee to see if another statement from the World Cup will make its way into this friendly by way of hydration breaks. We promise there isn't any advertising to come this way, though. But plenty of teams in pre-season have been putting away the hydration breaks. Many of them just getting on with it, as it seems to be the way for the coming season, that the hydration break was a thing of the World Cup, as Arsenal trying to claim themselves a corner, but instead going out for a throw-in. This one level with the edge of the 18-yard area, up the further side of the field. A number of potential changes by the way of rules to be made aware of is time wasting from throw-ins and goal kicks. Get ready for the referee to raise his hand in the air and do the customary 5 countdown. Goal kick will be punished by way of a corner, and a throw-in simply given to the other team. Changes that are very much universally being applauded and welcomed for the coming season. And also tactical timeouts as well, with players needing to leave the field for a full minute as Bellerin latches onto the loose ball off of the Arsenal penalty area. Free kick for Betis, midway inside their own half. With Pablo Fornals brought down right in front of the official this evening. Unfortunately, we don't really ever get the names of the officials for pre-season friendlies, as has been the case this evening as well. Hopefully, though, a good game incoming in the all-traditional black of the officials of yesteryear. With Arsenal wearing their bright, luminous yellow away jersey. Betis in their traditional green and white striped shirt with white shorts and green socks. And Hector Bellerin leading the two teams out as well, the former Arsenal man, as Arsenal look to come to break a ball into Havertz, but Dauman can't quite find the German international as Betis continue their stronghold at the back here in Dublin. With Ben White coming in from behind, laying off to Mosquera, who lays further back into the Arsenal penalty area to the goalkeeper Kepa. So Arsenal with plenty to think about going into the rest of this game. They have looked comfortable on the ball, but the final third effort has been lacking so far in this game. But there are players that could change that off the bench potentially. As Arsenal have the ball midway inside the Betis half, up the right-hand side of the field. Havertz slowing things down with the ball played back toward Mosquera and further still to Lewis Skelly. Squared to the left towards Hincapié, 15 yards into the Betis half. Played back into the centre circle, Skelly switching out wide towards Mosquera. Lewis Skelly almost dropping back, playing a pivotal role in a back three when Arsenal are on the ball with both Ben White and Calafiori moving further upfield. Very nearly given away, but Ben White pouncing on the loose ball as Arsenal come yet again up that right-hand side. Havertz now on the ball, inviting the goal scorer Riquelme nearer, squaring towards Nwaneri. Hincapié now has the ball midway inside the Betis half, on the deck to the left towards Solis, 10 yards from the edge of the penalty area. Wonderful footwork off to Calafiori, but far too easy to dispossess as Fornal's brought down, the referee allowing play to continue, and to Betis have a chance to break themselves up this right hand side. Midway into the Arsenal half, Pablo Garcia creeping nearer to the paint, finding the inside pass of Diosa. Rare touches for him and a poor pass from Diosa straight towards Max Dowman. He looks to turn away from the threat of Riquelme and goes back towards Kepa. First time clearing the ball out high into the Dublin sky as Betis get themselves back onto the ball. Waiting for a pass and finding Fornal squared in field towards Diosa. Shooting from range. A glorious finish from Diosa from around 25 yards out. And just moments ago, mentioning how Nelson Diosa has barely had a touch in this game. Well, right there, taking the words from my mouth and striking a delightful left-footed finish, driven past beyond Kepa Arrizabalaga and into the back of the Arsenal net. It is a superb way to extend Betis' lead further here in Dublin. And on the 26th minute, Arsenal find themselves 2-0 down, courtesy of a quite simply delightful strike from Nelson Diosa. Just guiding the ball onto his left foot and striking with pure venom. One touch, second to Leon, the third one beyond Kepa, and it is an absolutely exquisite finish from the man who usually plies his trade in the middle of the park, but being trialled up front during pre-season and starting tonight with an absolutely glorious finish. What a strike to give Betis a 2-0 lead here in Dublin. It is Arsenal 0, Betis 2, Nelson Diosa with a superb strike. Mikel Arteta, as soon as that hit the back of the net, turning straight towards the dugout, speaking with the respective coaches. But this has been a dreamlike performance for Betis as they do win themselves a free kick in the centre circle. Kai Havertz, the guilty party. And it is going to be Falcundo, who's just down holding the right side of his midriff at the moment. The first goal was something of a scrappy one in the end, with a mix-up in the middle with Arrizabalaga coming together with Arsenal defenders, dropping at the back post to Riquelme into open goal. But you cannot deny the quality of the second goal from Nelson Diosa. An absolute thunder strike with the left foot. And Betis, you have to say, fully deserving of their 2-0 lead here at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Lots of noise from those in the surrounding stands of Arsenal Red, but everything feeling that little bit more subdued by those in the stand surrounds. And understandably enough, it's those little pockets and splinters of green and white that are the much happier here in Dublin this evening. What a trip this has been for them so far. They're going to be hitting Temple Bar as hard as that shot was hit if this result remains. Excellent way to keep going with their preparations for the remainder of their pre-season. They've got games coming up against Bournemouth as well as Inter Milan before their opener against Real Sociedad on the 21st. Similar evening as Arsenal will be welcoming the Championship champions Coventry to the Emirates to begin their title defence. Plenty of teams looking to take ownership of that top spot themselves come season's end. Many thinking that Chelsea potentially have some stake to claim for themselves. Manchester City always a part of the equation. Manchester United as well, looking strong going into the coming season. But Arsenal at the moment finding it hard to try and get a stranglehold in this game. That 4-1 victory against Girona with the same starting 11. It almost feels like a completely different Arsenal compared to that one. But Max Dowman with wonderful skill up the right, keeping the ball alive from the byline. Looking to drive into that near side of the area. Nutmeg into the box towards Nwaneri. But a heavy touch from the Arsenal midfielder going out for a Betis goal kick as Max Dowman continues to impress. He's been one of the bright sparks for Arsenal this evening. Excellent piece of skill there. Running hard at the line to keep the ball alive from going off the byline. Squared into the penalty area towards Nathan Nwaneri. But not quite able to keep the ball alive. It's Mikel Arteta, a ponderous face across the Spaniard. Arsenal now with the ball midway inside the Betis half. Zolis squared towards the edge of the area. Ben White looking to pound in towards the box, but brought down easily enough. Cleared away by Betis, but Arsenal still they come. Havertz inside the box, laid off instead towards Dowman, switching to the edge of the area towards Zolis, into the box, but a wonderful interception from Pablo Garcia, sliding in from behind, going out for a corner for Arsenal. Excellent play yet again from Max Dowman, keeping his composure, as Zolis had a little bit of time to try and find the shot. As Pablo Garcia came charging in from behind to slide in at the perfect moment to clear the ball away. Going out instead for a corner to be taken on this near side for the Gunners. And that chance had all the fans in the stand rising to their feet, hoping to cheer an Arsenal goal on as we are now in the half an hour mark gone. Arsenal 0, Betis 2. This corner to be taken on this nearer side of the field. Swung in towards the area from Zolis, over the back post and into the back of the net as Arsenal get themselves a goal back into this game. It was a delightful ball played in from Christos Zolis over the head of Valles. And it was Mosquera guiding in off of the goal line to tuck the ball in from less than a yard away as Arsenal get themselves back into this friendly here in Dublin. It is Arsenal 1, Betis 2. Zolis with a picture-perfect ball into the box, and it wasn't actually, it was Hincapié who was the one who put the ball in towards the back of the Betis net from less than a yard away, over the fingertips of Alvaro Valles, looking to claim the ball for himself. It was Piero Hincapié in the end who got there in front of Mosquera and heading the ball in, where the score now in Dublin is Arsenal 1, Real Betis 2. A lively first half here in Dublin. And that has got a lot more people up on their feet in the stands in Dublin. As I said, there is a large number of Arsenal supporters based in Ireland. So many famous Gunners with Irish heritage, most notably as well David O'Leary, former manager for Arsenal and player. A real fan favourite as well at that. The Real Betis then with that strong start for themselves, allowing Arsenal back from a corner almost in a similar fashion to how they found the opener in this game. A corner looped over the goalkeeper into a player lying in wait in plenty of space, yards from the goal. Hincapié's finish much more straightforward than that of Riquelme's as Arsenal come yet again. Max Dowman squared to Lewis Skelly, 10 yards from the Betis area, but allowing Pablo Garcia to come in from behind as Yangoro plays a square ball up the left as Betis look to break themselves midway in towards the Arsenal half. Riquelme towards Pablo Garcia, laid back off. Riquelme, pedalled shot, but just catching a little bit of turf, a little bit too easy for Kepa to deal with in the end. Rolling the ball out towards Havertz, but a wonderful break between Rodrigo Riquelme and Borne Yancoro in the end. But Riquelme's strike just not quite venomous enough, looking to extend his own goal-scoring tally tonight, and Betis' from 2 to 3. But easy to read in the end there for Kepa Arrizabalaga. As we are expecting Illan Meslier to make an appearance this evening at some point. David Raya still on rest after his successful summer spent in North America, Spain for the World Cup. Dowman with a touchdown just over midway inside the Betis half, hugging that further side of the field. Stood up to in the end then from Fran Garcia. as Lewis Skelly has the ball still inside the Betis half. Arsenal taking their time to find pockets of space. Ben White in towards the box, over Calafiori and Hector Bellerin. Zolis keeps the ball alive 10 yards from the Betis penalty area. Squared towards Nathan Nwaneri. Lewis Skelly now played in field towards Mosquera and further out to the right towards Ben White, captain this evening for Arsenal. Usually that's left to Ødegaard, many thinking that Declan Rice could also be claiming ownership of the armband himself this coming season. As Rice, Saka and Madueke still continuing their rest after a busy summer for themselves, with England finishing third in the World Cup. That 6-4 thriller in the playoff against France. As Arsenal win themselves a free kick, this one around 7 or 8 yards from the centre circle inside of the Betis half. Lewis Skelly, the only one, stood over this ball, pushing everyone towards the edge of the D in the penalty area. Referee just having a quiet word with Nwaneri and Gangoro. As Lewis Skelly has got Ben White for close company to the right, as well as Havertz a bit more central. Fornal stood nearest to for Betis. And Skelly does square this one to the left towards Calafiori, back towards Lewis Skelly. And now switching the ball towards the edge of the box. Wonderful pass towards Havertz into the penalty area, but Betis clearing their lines just over the head of Gyökeres. As Fornals chases on the loose ball, but only finding Havertz in the end. As we are now into the final 10 minutes of the regulation 45 here at the Aviva Stadium. Looped ball played up towards Zolis, left edge of the area, but the assistant's flag raised sharply on the further side of the field. It's going to be a Betis free kick. Arsenal 1, Betis 2. Betis taking the lead through Rodrigo Riquelme on the 9th minute from a corner. And Nelson Diosa crashing a ball from 25 yards or so out beyond Kepa Arrizabalaga on the 26th minute. For Piero Hincapié got a goal back for Arsenal from a corner on the 31st. But so far everything going the way of the team from Seville. And into the final 10 minutes here, with the sun setting over the clear see-through stands of the Aviva Stadium off the River Dodder, with the Irish Sea not too far further from here. Is Betis giving away a cheap free kick yet again, this one 5 yards from the dead central point of the D. Gyökeres brought down. And another chance for Arsenal to lay a dangerous ball in towards the box. Gyökeres just shielding the ball away there from Marc Bartrara. Bartrara just pushing down Gyökeres in the end. No arguments really against that from the Betis centre-back. And another chance then for Arsenal from a free kick. Gyökeres hands on the ball, waiting to see what number will feature in the Betis wall for the goalkeeper Alvaro Valles. Zolis also has stood over this free kick. Zolis, who put the ball into the area for the Arsenal goal back from the corner. Christoph Zolis, a natural set-piece specialist as well. They have a number of those in Arsenal's arsenal, as it were. Zolis lays off towards Gyökeres, drills straight to the Betis wall. Fornals clearing to this right-hand side towards Pablo Garcia, carrying the ball under the weight of his own foot over the halfway line and into the Arsenal half. Numbers scrambling back in Arsenal yellow. Garcia taking no chances, sending the ball back towards Betis players in plenty of space, as Fornals now has the ball 10 yards inside of the Arsenal half with a 1-2 back towards Yankoro. Fornals facing Arsenal a number of times during his playing days with West Ham United. Conference League winner with the Hammers as well. As Falcundo turns cutely in the middle of the Arsenal half, away from Gyökeres, as Nathan switches out towards Riquelme. Played back towards Nathan in plenty of space inside of his own half, before finding Pablo Fornals carrying the ball underfoot. Wonderful passing short, but that time giving the ball cheaply away, as Calafiori looks to play the ball but straight towards Betis, green and white. Wonderful ball, looped towards Pablo Garcia first time, but Kepa getting down to his right-hand side, reading that shot from Pablo Garcia wonderfully. Fornals again, a catalyst with excellently timed and weighted passes. As Max Dowman is brought down right in front of the official. Free kick for Arsenal, a couple of yards inside their own half off the right edge of the centre circle. Now approaching the final 5 minutes of the game here in Dublin. Still Arsenal 1, Betis 2. It's been a lively first half of this pre-season friendly. Around 2.5 weeks till the league seasons kick off for either side. Arsenal, though, technically their season kicks off with the Community Shield against Manchester City, FA Cup winners. That one on the Cardiff Millennium Stadium, Sunday the 16th of August. Usually played at Wembley, but the weekend will be playing that weekend at Wembley Stadium, therefore the Community Shield having to be moved to Cardiff, which was the host of English football finals whilst Wembley was being redeveloped. And Arsenal actually playing in the first FA Cup final played at the Millennium Stadium, facing Liverpool, falling to a 2-1 defeat against Liverpool that afternoon. Michael Owen famously scoring in that game. Betis now with the ball with Valles inside of his own penalty area. Gyökeres putting the pressure on Valles, who sends the ball out to the left-hand side. Heavy touch onwards. Lewis Skelly into the box towards Gyökeres, but Natan gets in front, chased towards his own corner. But a deflection off Gyökeres going out for a Real Betis throw-in. And in around 3 or 4 minutes' time, we will see how much time is going to be added by the fourth official. I can't think of too much time needing to be added. Kickoff delayed by 15 minutes, was meant to start at 7:30 but began at 7:45 due to the Real Betis team bus getting stuck in traffic coming from their team hotel. As we await to see if there will be much time added on. Max Dowman just pushing away a number of Betis players looking to test the nerve of Ethan Nwaneri giving away that free kick. The referee just having a word with the Arsenal number 22, man who spent the second half of last season on loan at Marseille. He will be looking to establish a more regular feature in Arsenal's plans this coming season. Nwaneri just going through the back there of Bernal Falcundo. Valles to be the one to take this free kick, level with the edge of his own penalty area, sending everyone long, and the ball indeed goes long up the left-hand side. So Mosquera looks to head the ball and keep it alive, but Diosa with the touch instead, scorer of the wonderful second goal. But a poor pass laid straight towards Mac Dowman, who's been right in the thick of it for Arsenal in this first half in Dublin. Dowman really breaking ground last season as a player to be watched. Whether he'll feature in starting Arsenal shirts, that is yet to be decided. Still a number of players to come back by the way of Rice and Saka, Madueke, Marino, as well as Ødegaard. So plenty of players potentially in front of Max Dowman in the pecking order. With the 16-year-old oozing with confidence. And I'm sure that the 10 of those 17 subs under 21s will be looking to emulate the season that Max Dowman has had. Get themselves into Arteta's good books, but that's laid off towards Fornals. Shot from range. Oh, and it's a wonderful third for Real Betis. And it is Pablo Fornals giving it the crossed hammers as well towards the corner of the field. And on the 43rd minute, Pablo Fornals with a delightful shot from the edge of the D beyond Kepa Arrizabalaga as Betis find a third here in the first half in Dublin. Pablo Fornals with a superb finish. Brilliant from the former West Ham United man, and that celebration for me indicating that there was maybe a West Ham fan or two in the corner. I can't quite see any claret and blue down there. But a delightful finish from Fornals, cheaply given away in the middle of the park though. And Pablo Fornals picking up on that loose ball from Kai Havertz. Was Diosa who laid it squared to the right towards Fornals. And a right-footed effort, perfectly placed towards Fornals. Crossed hammers to a fist pumped into the Dublin sky. And on the 43rd minute, Betis are in dreamland here. And if they've got Irish eyes, well, they are going to be smiling. They do have that link, as said at the start of the broadcast, with their former manager Patrick O'Connell, Irish-born Dubliner, the only manager to be in charge of Betis when they have won the Spanish top flight La Liga title in 1935. Dublin proving a good omen so far for Betis, as Max Dowman adjudged to have been offside up the further side of the field. It's going to be a free kick for Betis as we have just got around 20 seconds to go of this first half. Arsenal 1, Betis 3. All eyes soon turning to the fourth official and the referee to see how much time is going to be added. Quite often in friendlies they choose to overlook time added on, as it is still a case of getting vital minutes into the legs. But Mikel Arteta, surely with plenty to think about going in at half-time. It is a strong Arsenal lineup, and it's going to be just the 1 minute of time added on at the end of this first half. Arsenal winning themselves a free kick. Frustration's growing a little bit more from Arsenal players. You can sense it growing in them, just deciding to wrestle more with the Betis players around them. And is there another chance on the goal? We've seen 4 goals in this first half. It's been a dream if you're one of those in the crowd this evening here in Dublin. It's always great to see a bit of an exhibition game in a pre-season friendly, as tempers are starting to flare just a little bit between the players on the field. Just scrapping with one another. Calafiori just holding his left Achilles there, feeling the full contact with Pablo Garcia. Winning that free kick. And it is going to be Kepa who's come to take this one, 10 yards inside of the Betis half, so surely this free kick is only going one place. And it will be interesting to see how many changes are going to be made by Arteta at half-time. Arsenal playing a ball into the back post of the box, dropping down, but only to the Betis feet, clearing the ball away. As there goes the referee's whistle for half-time here. Arteta straight down the tunnel, where the scoreline is currently Arsenal 1, Real Betis 3. Betis opening the scoring from a corner on the 9th minute through Rodrigo Riquelme, picking up on the corner from Fornals, looping over Arrizabalaga, coming together with a number of Arsenal defenders, an open goal at the back post. But on the 26th minute, Nelson Diossa with a superb, beautifully struck ball on the left foot beyond Arrizabalaga, caught with real venom into the back of the Arsenal net. And then 5 minutes later, Hincapié bringing Arsenal back into the game with the corner drilled in, I should say, from Solis. But on the 43rd minute, Pablo Fornals fed a ball from Diossa after a loose pass from Havertz, and placing the ball wonderfully beyond Kepa into the back of the Arsenal net. 3 times the goal has been breached for the Gunners from Real Betis this evening. And I'm sure that Arteta will have plenty to say at half-time, and I'm pretty sure that the pen is going to be needed at half-time as well. 17 players on the bench, and I'm pretty sure we'll see a few coming, if not at half-time, then within the first 15 minutes or so. Well, the score here then at the moment is Arsenal 1, Betis 3. We will resume the rest of this live broadcast before the
Well, welcome back to the favourite
on the fringes of the Dodder River, where the score here is currently Arsenal 1, Real Betis 3. A superb first half for Real Betis and Manuel Pellegrini, with some delightful strikes as well in the process, as a number of players currently are getting ready to enter in Arsenal yellow. As far as I can count, there are 7 players down there ready to come on. Martinelli, one player, Gabriel as well, making their first appearances back after serving their time in North America. Gabriel as well seemingly has the captain's armband around his arm as well. On the 9th minute though, Real Betis took the lead from a corner. Rodrigo Riquelme volleying the ball into the back of a relatively open net before a thunder strike from Nelson Diosa on the 26th minute. By far the pick of the 4 goals so far in that first half. And then Hincapié giving Arsenal a little something to hold on to. Hincapié actually one of those players that is being replaced by Gabriel. Martinelli also coming onto the field as Real Betis now start to make their way out into the field. We'll see if any changes are being made on their end as well. Martinelli and Gabriel for their first appearances back for Arsenal. Max Daumann, another player making his way off his race. He's run a strong first half really from Max Daumann. Exciting 16-year-old. Very much looking forward to seeing what he can do for the coming season. So much expected of Max Daumann, and Pablo Fornals on the 43rd minute bringing the scoreline to how we currently know it. And there is one change with Isco, the experienced head, coming on for Real Betis. So 7 changes all made in one fell swoop. As I said, the commentator now has to do the thing where they have to scramble to try and get as many of them ready down on the sheet as I possibly can before the game really does kick off. Big number of players, so many changes always made. Gabriel Jesus also coming on for Victor Gyökeres. Relatively quiet in that first half was Gyökeres. So 7 changes all being made. Martinelli as well, looking to have a real impact this coming season. Strong performances last year. It's Pablo Fornals, the goal scorer, replaced by Isco. Pablo Fornals, I would say, probably the standout player for Real Betis in that first half, with a delightful strike on the goal to make this the 3-1 scoreline that it currently holds as well. As Vieira takes a shot deflected out, and immediately Arsenal get themselves a corner early on here at the start of the second half. This one taken up this further side of the field. And Louis Copley, a man who was on loan last season at Crawley Town, brought there by Colin Kazim-Richards. He has come on to replace Ben White, so Louis Copley coming on. And then as well as another member of the under-21 side in Salmon coming on in place of Mosquera. So large-scale changes made with a couple of those younger players now getting a chance and a crack at the whip. But it is going to be this corner taken for Arsenal up the further side. This to be a left-footed, swung into the box but powered away by Velez as they try and clear the ball away themselves. Betis up the further side of the field. They do just that in the end. It was an excellent first half really for Real Betis. So strong as well. And so those changes for you to bring you up to date. White, Mosquera, Hincapié, Nwaneri, Daumann, Gyökeres and Zolis all off in place of Copley, Salmon, Gabriel, Vieira, Nelson, Jesus and Martinelli. And just the one change made for Real Betis with Pablo Fornals coming off for Isco. Isco usually holding the captain's armband for Betis last season, former Real Madrid man. And what do Arsenal have in response in this second half of Mikel Arteta? I said with friendlies, of course, it's always about getting minutes into the legs, but performance has got to start creeping in. Mikel Arteta making a large number of changes, 7 in one fell swoop. It is always a lot easier, I will let you into a little something here, for a commentator when that change is made at half-time. When they come in like the 60th minute and the game continues on around either side, that is when you really start to scramble and get the pen furiously scribbling away on the sheet before you. So fortunately, that change, it was made at half-time. With the scoreline here then at the start of the second half, Arsenal 1, Betis 3. All those 4 goals coming in the first half. Real Betis, by far the better performers of them. The ball played, sorry, it wasn't Pablo Fornals. I can actually see him on the field. It was in fact Buare Yankoro who has come off the field. I just spotted Fornals there. I thought I couldn't see him, but there he actually is. Apologies to Pablo Fornals. For me, the standout player in that first half. Getting an assist for the first, scoring the third. As Betis now have the ball out the left-hand side with Riquelme scoring the first goal of the evening here in Dublin. Played back towards Nathan in plenty of space, short infield towards Falcundo, playing that linchpin pivotal role of the midfield 5. Nelson Diosa playing almost as a lone striker. But his goal, a superb, clean strike with the left foot, finding the back of the net. A delightful goal as well. It really was superb. And do Arsenal have something in them to potentially get back into this game and into this friendly? Well, they do have further friendlies on the horizon, do both sets of teams. Arsenal hosting Borussia Dortmund in the Emirates Cup before a game against Como, the real talk of Italian football they were last season. Before the league opener for them in the Community Shield in Cardiff on the 16th of August. Well, it's another Premier League opposition for Real Betis with AFC Bournemouth, their opponents, for a game against Inter Milan, and their season kicking off on the 21st of August. A Friday evening game at home against Real Sociedad. Same night as Arsenal kick off their defence of the Premier League title at home against Championship title holders Coventry. Frank Lampard, a visit for him. And we have actually got the name of the referee, sorry, Raul Hennessy, the Irishman. So it is an all-Irish officiating team this evening here in Dublin, making total sense as Nelson now midway inside the Betis half up the right-hand side, squared infield towards Nwaneri. Many say Nwaneri could go back out on loan potentially this season, but you know he's going to want to fight another member of the under-21 graduates. Max Dowman with a good first-half performance himself as Copley laying the ball off, but only finding the green and white of Betis shirts. Isco keeping the ball alive with a cute backheel flick up this near side. Falcundo brought down in the end there, and it is going to be a free kick then for Real Betis. Nwaneri again just going a little bit too eagerly into tackles so far in this friendly. Here's then going to be a free kick for Betis. Just over 5 minutes gone here in Dublin in this second half, sorry. Arsenal 1, Real Betis 3. Strong from the team from Seville, giving Arsenal a real test this evening. That 4-1 victory against Girona. It was the exact same starting 11, but it felt like a different one entirely as Diosa now driving up the further side of the field, deeper into the Arsenal half, shielded by Gabriel. Played back instead as Betis looked to break with Isco. Isco squaring to the right towards Fornals. 1-2 back towards Fornals. His passing, always a strong point in his game. One of the key players last season as Bellerin plays in towards the box, but Riquelme just behind the goal scorer, but a chance again from the edge of the area from Diosa. That one nowhere near catching the venom of the connection that we saw for his goal on the 26th minute. So it was just the one change made then at half-time for Real Betis. Buare Yankoro coming off for the leader and captain Isco. Bellerin though still with that bright blue captain's armband around his arm. Strong half from Real Betis. Can they continue it further into the second in this pre-season friendly in the Irish capital, the Aviva Stadium? Those arch-like clear see-through stands as Jesus has the ball off the D, but a big interception in the end from Natan. The stadium almost replicating the waves of the sea as Louis Copley gives the ball cheaply away towards Riquelme, now breaking further up this left-hand side, crossfield toward Garcia, chest down but a bit too aggressively over the body, out to the right edge of the box. Calafiori standing nearest to, laid off towards Fornals, in towards the area, but a wonderful header away from Salmon, diving in from behind to get there first. Betis have the ball as it's going to be played out there with Falcundo clearing the ball out, and currently it looks like Louis Copley is down at the moment. He went down after losing the ball off of Rodrigo Riquelme. And they'll be hoping that it's nothing too serious there for Louis Copley. As said, spent last year on loan at Crawley Town in League Two. Part of their efforts to keep them in the Football League last season. Louis Copley just feeling something jar potentially in his leg there, and this could be a very early finish for Louis Copley. He only come on at half-time. We've only had 8 minutes gone here in this first half. And I think that the young man's race might unfortunately be run here with the physios just checking on the left leg of the Arsenal under-21 player. Flat down on his back. His hand rested on his head, and this doesn't look good for Louis Copley. As the physio now signalling towards the bench, and I think this will be the end of the young man's evening here in Dublin. As we await to see potentially what change could come. Arsenal basically utilising all of their experienced players, and we are going to see a change immediately being made for Louis Copley. He's only been really active in the game for 7 minutes. And this is the last thing that you want to see for any player in pre-season, in particular a young player as well, looking to establish and break themselves into the first team equation. But it looks like we are going to be seeing that change needing to be made. And it is going to come, it looks like, by way of Theo Julien, a member of the under-21 side. So a quick night had for Louis Copley, sending him all the best. Currently flanked either side by both physios, shaking his head. There's a round of applause from the surrounding stands of Arsenal fans. And that one not looking like a very comfortable exit off the field here in Dublin for Louis Copley, but Julien coming on in place. So that change forced for Mikel Arteta. And hopefully nothing too serious for him. And taken down the tunnel here at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. 10 minutes gone then, Arsenal 1, Betis 3. It's now 8 changes made for Mikel Arteta, 7 at half-time. Louis Copley had only just come on now, replaced by Theo Julien. Another member of the under-21s from the bench. And it will be a drop ball to get things back underway with Pablo Fornals. The ball laid all the way further back towards Valles, who sends the ball along the bright pink goalkeeper strip. Standing brightly amongst the green grass here of the Aviva Stadium. Not too dissimilar to the green stripes on the Betis strip. As the under-21s begin to flood the Arsenal 11 on the field. As Lewis Selly squares to the left towards Vieira, midway inside of the Betis half. Laid back towards the now captain Gabriel, squared to the right towards Salmon. Good opportunities in pre-season for younger players to get themselves into the mindsets and the thinking of their respective managers. Arsenal's academy, so admired as well, so much success for them over the years and so many wonderful products coming through that academy. One of them, Max Dowman, who featured in the first half, a tremendous first half performance, standout really for the Gunners, as he was replaced at half time by Reece Nelson, another member of that academy. as Arsenal now have the ball on the halfway line on this nearer side of the field, just minutes away from the hour mark being gone here in Dublin. Betis so far worthy of their 3-1 lead as it stands. Calafiori, though, wonderful composure up the further side of the field, finding the ball short instead. Coming in field and winning a free kick for their troubles there was Vieira. And it is going to be a free kick then for Arsenal, 15 yards into the Betis half, up the further side of the field. Pablo Vieira back from his spell away. Potentially got a chance to break in towards Arsenal's starting places this season. Strong performer last year on loan. And it will be Fabio Vieira to take this free kick then for Arsenal. Number of players making their way in towards the box in that Arsenal yellow, but a poor ball laid off in the end, easily watched by Pablo Garcia. That one going out for an Arsenal throw-in midway inside of the Betis half. But we are going to see even more changes coming for Arsenal. It looks like Ilham Meslier is going to be coming on to the field for Kepa Arrizabalaga. So Meslier signed on a free from Leeds United. Seen as the real backup option for Mikel Arteta, with many linking a move for Kepa back to his native Spain for the coming season. 3 goals shipped beyond the Spaniard this evening here in Dublin. The Salmon now has the ball, threaded up towards the edge of the area. Heavy touch though as Nelson has the chance to open up some space, but the assistant's flag raised on this nearer side, finding the Arsenal man in an offside position. It will be a free kick then for Real Betis. As Nelson just straying into an offside position behind Fran Garcia. As it looks like there's going to be another couple of changes being made for Mikel Arteta alongside a goalkeeping one of Ilham Meslier. Valles needing to be careful, nearly shut down by Gabriel Jesus inside of his own penalty area. Dinked up the far side, won well by Salmon. Arsenal with a chance to break. Here is Jesus, but again the assistant's flag raises sharply. It's the referee indicating that the leg was outstretched in an offside position. As this break in play might now potentially get the chance to see those changes being made. As we await to see which 3 that haven't been replaced it will be for either Calafiori, Havertz or Lewis Skelly for the other 2. We are going to be made to wait that little bit longer. 1 hour now officially gone here in Dublin. 3-1 to Betis against the champions of England, Arsenal. Betis finishing 5th last season in La Liga, booking their place in the Champions League. It looks like Ibrahim and Ogunaike are going to be the 2 players coming on for Arsenal. And a yellow card being raised for Salmon there. The first yellow card of the evening going to the young Arsenal man. Just dragging down Rodrigo Riquelme, looking to break away up this near side of the Aviva. But brought down in the end instead. So waiting for these changes to be confirmed, and it is going to be Ifilua Ibrahim coming on. And there goes the goalkeeper change as well. So a number of further changes being made for Mikel Arteta. As Lewis Skelly and Calafiori are the ones that make their way off for Ogunaike and Ibrahim. So more changes being made, more scribbling for the commentator. But it's what we sign up for at the end of the day. But even further chances for these Arsenal youth team players to impress the big man in the dugout. So Ibrahim on, as well as Ogunaike, as Ilham Meslier gets his first few touches since coming on in place of Kepa Arrizabalaga. Always good opportunities, these pre-season games, and even if it isn't to get into the starting 11, it's to maybe get a warranted loan, a competitive loan as well for younger players. Teams in the Championship always looking for hungry young players to showcase their talents and give them a chance of potentially facing the Gunners in the Premier League. Arsenal kicking off their title defence against the side that won the championship in Coventry City. A long-awaited return for the Sky Blues back to the top flight of English football, led by former Chelsea man Frank Lampard. And do Arsenal have some say in this game to get themselves back into this one? Currently 3-1 down. Betis dominant really in the first half. They didn't look all that threatened in their own third, but led from brilliant players, in particular Pablo Fornal's a standout player in this game so far. Both an assist and the third goal to his name, and always commanding in the middle, always looking to drive, link those passes between midfield and defence. And he has been doing just that, and maybe that little bit more as well in this game. But here is Martinelli, played out towards Nelson midway inside the Betis half, up the right-hand side of the field, looking to take it away himself from Fran Garcia, returning back to give Ibrahim his first touches since coming onto the field. Nwaneri now. Currently on, short pass paid back instead. As Arsenal continue to try and find those ways to get the ball up and into dangerous areas. Nwaneri, the only one on from the Arsenal starting 11 as well. As Betis win the ball back with so much ease yet again. It's been far too easy for Real Betis to win the ball. Bartra just picking up on the loose pass himself. As Betis, so much time on the ball for them. Even in their own third, when Arsenal put the pressure on them, such composure from them to break away as they are doing just now up this near side of the field. Riquelme laying the ball on for Fran Garcia, left edge of the box, chance for Isco, but a heavy touch. Still Betis look to come. Isco towards the right side of the area, towards Pablo Garcia. Overlapping run from Bellerin being found on the byline. Low into the near side. Isco with the back flick, but Meslier getting down to read that potentially glorious fourth goal for Real Betis. Isco with a wide smile, knowing how close that would have been to a delightfully cute flicked fourth goal for Real Betis. A whisker away from extending their lead even further here in Dublin. A place that feels so spiritual for Real Betis. As said, Patrick O'Connell, their former manager that won them the La Liga title in 1935, their only La Liga title. A born and raised proud Dubliner, with plenty of the Betis fans spending the day today visiting the place where he called home in the city, leaving flags and Betis-based tributes. A manager of such prominence, and even in Spanish football as well, as Betis look to break yet again with Fornals looking to find the pass, and Isco comes 10 yards off the edge of the area, laid up towards Fran Garcia, but Meslier dives off of his line, driving forward to claim that ball for himself. It's Fornals nearly unlocking Arsenal's defence yet again. Betis growing more and more likely to be the side to find the next goal in this game. Arsenal's changes yet to find their footing here in Dublin. But Ilham Meslier denying Isco with the most cute of finishes. He certainly has that in his locker, that is to be said. Still looks exactly how he does as well when he played with Real Madrid. That thick hair, that big thick beard as well. The leader for Real Betis nearly finding a wonderful goal, but Arsenal breaking up the left-hand side. Cutting back inside now is Martinelli, off the edge of the area. Jesus with the shot and just wide of the target. First time strike from the Brazilian. Just going wide of Valles and the Real Betis goal. But Martinelli picking up on that ball laid long off the edge of the area, beating Bellerin to it. And Jesus, first time, just curling a yard or so wide of the near post. And so nearly giving Arsenal the chance to draw themselves back into this friendly. Head in hands for Gabriel Jesus. So we are now going to see a number of changes being made for Real Betis. Just waiting to see those players coming. It looks like Anthony and Junior Firpo are ready to come on. Anthony, the former Manchester United man. Ireland, of course, a real stronghold of Manchester United fans as well as Liverpool. Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester United, such dominantly supported teams here in Ireland from English Premier League. As Arsenal look to break away, but Hector Bellerin standing tallest, getting a big foot in on Martinelli, shielding the ball away there. And a cool customer as always, almost as cool as his image himself. He's got that shaggy, long black hair, that thick moustache on the top lip. And in almost that retro looking like Betis shirt, he really is the cutting figure of cool footballers, Hector Bellerin. As we await to see the changes to be made for Real Betis. It looks like it's going to be Llorente, Anthony and Junior Firpo coming on. Isco the only change made so far in this game for Manuel Pellegrini. Over the midway part now of this second half. Still Arsenal 1, Betis 3. Betis do win themselves a free kick though. Pablo Garcia just brought down midway inside the Arsenal half. Fabio Vieira, the guilty party there for the Gunners. Just bundling in through the back of Pablo Garcia, who's been lively up the right-hand side for Betis all evening long. As we now wait to see if these changes are going to be made before the free kick is to be taken. And those changes look like they potentially are going to be made afterwards as the free kick is taken short by Isco. Played out to Fran Garcia on this left-hand side. Riquelme, wonderful piece of skill, breaking up this left-hand side towards the edge of the area and the byline, fizzed across the near side of the box, but straight down the throat of Illan Meslier. Rodrigo Riquelme, the man who opened the scoring this evening, a wonderful, cute breakaway from Julien, fresh on the field for Arsenal, replacing Louis Copley. So we await to see who Llorente, Anthony and Junior Firpo will be replacing for Real Betis. Betis still looking relatively comfortable in this game. A strong 11 out there for Betis and showing their worth at the moment as Isco squares to the left towards Riquelme, but cheaply given away in the end as Arsenal look to break up this near side with Nelson coming in field off the centre circle. Good composure from Reece Nelson, finding the short pass towards Vieira. Nwaneri short towards Nelson, who's looked lively since coming on, by far the standout player of the Arsenal changes. And here is Ibrahim, played out towards Theo Julien, midway inside the Betis half on this near side. The under-21s linking up. As Ibrahim now has the ball, short squared up towards Julien, played off the edge of the box. Nelson, wonderful close control and composure, but turning back instead to find Nwaneri. Nwaneri forced all the way back towards Sam, and Betis players crowding round as quickly as they can, looking to intercept Nwaneri, nearly giving the ball away, but Ibrahim coming in to clean up on the loose pass. As the captain Gabriel has the ball in the centre circle, now into the final 20 minutes here in Dublin. Still Arsenal 1, Real Betis 3, all goals coming in the first half. Betis nearly extending their lead just moments ago with Isco's cute flick, not quite deceiving Illan Meslier in between the Arsenal sticks. As Ibrahim squares towards Ogunaike, still getting involved with his first few touches of the game. Jesus towards Gabriel. Back towards the Brazilian, 10 yards from the left corner of the box, shielded by Bellerin. Wonderful ball laid up. Can Nwaneri keep the ball alive, but just going out of play in the end. The referee actually allowing play to continue there. I thought that one had gone out, looking to the assistant's flag on the nearer side. Yet to be raised though, as Betis do get on with proceedings. Those three Betis changes still eagerly awaiting their introduction here in Dublin at the Aviva Stadium, the home of Irish rugby and football. The last time Arsenal played here, a successful friendly victory against Chelsea. This though Real Betis' first trip to Ireland. Incredible really, given the history they have with their former manager in Patrick O'Connell. Dubliner born and raised. Finally getting a chance to visit the home of where their only sole La Liga title-winning manager is from, as those changes are now ready to be made. And it is going to be Fran Garcia. Well, his race is run. He will be replaced by Junior Firpo, a very similar like-for-like change for them, with the fullback replacement, Fran Garcia, arriving from Real Madrid in the summer. to be replaced by Junior Firpo. Another is Pablo Garcia. He's been tremendous all evening long. He's going to be replaced by a familiar name for Arsenal in Anthony, the former Manchester United man. And it's also going to be Marc Bartra coming off in place of Llorente. So Llorente coming on, bringing those three changes to their conclusion. Still plenty of experience and first team acumen on the field for Manuel Pellegrini and Real Betis. This will be a real statement victory in pre-season for Pellegrini. Again, the argument always coming to be that it is just pre-season and it's more about getting fitness and minutes into the legs. But at this stage in the season, 2 weeks before the first kickings, you do want to start seeing tactics and formations and shape and partnerships coming together. And Pellegrini at the moment just utilising first team players. There are a number of players from Real Betis' B side on the bench who may well feature later on in the game. With those three changes by way of Fran Garcia, Marc Bartra and Pablo Garcia replaced by Anthony Llorente and Junior Firpo. The Salmon chips a ball long upfield for the chase of Julien, but straight to the all-pink clad Alvaro Valles. It looks like we might be seeing even more changes for for Mikel Arteta. As the red side of my Bic 4 colour pen is going to have to appear yet again on Arsenal's side of the team sheet. Valles now being shut down by Vieira, sent long upfield. Ogunaike winning the ball in the air, but only finding Real Betis shirts as they look to break up this near side of the field. Squared short now towards Firpo for his first touch since coming on. Laid up towards Rodrigo Riquelme. And now Isco, crossfield ball to the right-hand channel. Bellerin with a cute touchdown off the right edge of the area. Drilled into the box, but just about getting away from it. There is Gabriel in front of Diosa. But Diosa keeping the ball alive for Betis on the further side of the field. Now into the final 15 minutes of the game here in Dublin. And will those 4 goals be extended further upon here tonight in the Irish capital? Betis now have the ball with Nathan laid back to Valles and a little bit of space outside of his own penalty area, chipping a ball out towards Firpo, headed further onwards to Riquelme. Another chance to break away for Betis. Fornals again pouncing on the ball, working hard as always in the middle of the park for Betis. As Falcundo brought down, breaking in towards the Arsenal half, and it is going to be a free kick for Betis. As we await to see if these Arsenal changes are going to be made. See who exactly they are going to be for, and it's going to be Clark and Cabia and O'Neill. Well, they will all be coming on. Gabriel with a very quick few minutes out for him, as well as for Martinelli. They only just came back from duty served with Brazil in the World Cup. So Gabriel and Martinelli both just getting a quick time on the field for Arsenal this evening, as well as Ethan Nwaneri, the only player to have survived the longest of the starting 11. As my sheet becomes even busier with the myriad of changes and names coming on, but even more youth being tested tonight for Mikel Arteta. Will it be all down to the kids now to see if they can find a way back into this game for the Dublin, but a good number of travelling supporters as well coming from Seville. Excellent turnout really for them. And do the under-21s for Arsenal have a maybe final say in how this one is going to finish? The score currently Arsenal 1, Real Betis 3. The scoring opening on the 9th minute from Rodrigo Riquelme before a delightful finish from 25 yards away from Nelson Diosa on the 26th. Arsenal getting a goal back then from Hincapié from a corner from themselves, but Pablo Fornals adding the third on the 43rd minute. So those changes for Arsenal that have just been made, Clark, Cabia and O'Neill on for Gabriel, Nwaneri and Martinelli, as Hector Bellerin with wonderful feet, nearly finding Riquelme into the box, nearly getting his second of the evening and Betis' fourth. Bellerin has been a standout performer tonight for Betis as well at that right-hand side, haunting his former employer. 239 total senior appearances. He has been superb operating up the right-hand side of the field. But Arsenal, though, do win themselves a free kick inside of their own penalty area, taken short as Clark gets his in the 11 on the field. All those changes being made. Gabriel and Martinelli getting just a few minutes this evening, but not as few as Louis Copley going off injured on the 53rd minute. Flanked either side by physios, one arm around either shoulder, but cheaply given away again as Betis look to break. Coming onto the field now, looking to make an immediate impact, but not quite being found in the end. Diosa looks lively in this second half, looking to extend further his goals tally this evening in Dublin. Arsenal nearly being caught out. As to be expected, though, there's plenty of senior experience on the field for Betis in comparison for those playing senior experience. Junior Firpo taking a touchdown heavy coming from behind, but winning the ball beautifully there is Julien with some great aggression. As Arsenal look to break away themselves, early touches on the field for a number of them. The wash of subs that have come on the field for Mikel Arteta. Here's Ogunike midway inside the Betis half up the left-hand channel. Nearing the 80th minute of the game, Vieira nearly easily dispossessed, turning off the edge of the box. Here is Jesus in towards the penalty area, but far too. Excellent read and marshalling them from the experienced centre-back. Fresh on the field this evening as well. This has been so far a highly professional performance for the team from southern Spain. As Nelson looks to get a few cute step-overs into the box, cleared away in the end though. Betis clearing out for an Arsenal throw-in midway inside the Betis half on the further side. Instead thrown back as Arsenal have the ball off the centre circle, with Clark getting some early touches in the game. Played out to the right-hand side of the field towards Cabia. Cabia wearing the number 46 this evening. One of the latest three players to enter the field here in Dublin. Cabia now on the ball, 10 yards from the right edge of the box. Looking to break away. Wonderful footwork from Cabia. Played towards the back post. Touchdown from Vieira. But Nelson can't quite latch onto that ball himself as Anthony looks to step the ball over and away from danger. Fornals midway inside the Betis half. Laid up towards Diosa off the halfway line. Across the centre circle towards Isco. Played out the left now towards Riquelme. Midway inside the Arsenal half. The man who opened proceedings finding Isco. So confident on the ball, Betis. Any time that they look to break, they're more than happy to put their foot on the ball, stop it in its tracks and wait for numbers to come up in green and white. Isco more than happy to be the key operator, switching a cross-field ball in the air to find Bellerin with one cute touchdown with the right foot. Llorente on the halfway line into the centre circle towards Nathan. Isco laid upfield towards Riquelme. Firpo with a ball back a little bit loose, but fortunately Nathan with plenty of grass surrounding. As Isco crosses a poor ball straight down the throat of Nelson, as Nelson looks to break away, but a heavy touch onwards allowing Fornals back. Still they look to break, but Fornals the Arsenal half towards Isco. Composure from Isco, right edge of the penalty area towards Diosa. Diosa finding Fornals, 5 yards off the right side of the box. Arsenal numbers charging back in support inside of their own third. Betis on the ball, confident, cool, composed throughout. Slightly more possession for Arsenal in the game this evening. But whenever Betis have been on the ball, they seemed so confident. Plenty of youth on the field for the Gunners. So plenty of new experiences for those under-21 players in senior first-team football. But so far, everything going the way of Betis as Meslier takes no chances, being shut down, clearing the ball long. Jesus with a heavy touch on towards Bellerin. As Llorente plays the ball back instead towards Valles in plenty of space inside of his own penalty area. As Cabia looks to put the pressure on himself, now charging upfield. Fresh legs on. Again, further chances to impress Mikel Arteta. And with a number of friendlies still to come for the Gunners. Dortmund coming this weekend to the Emirates for the Emirates Cup fixture, usually at the Cardiff Millennium Stadium. In the game against Como, Fabregas, former Arsenal man, now manager of Como. Superb season for them in Serie A last year, booking their place in the Champions League. And what a tie that would be as well for them. Real Betis also playing Champions League football next season, as we will see some further changes to be made. And it is going to be the goal scorer, Rodrigo Riquelme, coming off. His strike on the 9th minute at the back post, the difference maker in this game, replaced by Morante. As we await to see the final change of the evening, it looks like Gomez is going to be coming on in place of Bernal Falcundo in the middle of the park, operating well as that pivotal role of a midfield. Gomez coming on in his place. So plenty for Arteta to think about. We've still a few weeks to go before the season officially kicks off for the Gunners. Strong talks and links this afternoon of Bruno Guimaraes, deal being as close as accepted from Newcastle United. There's still plenty of want looking towards Real Madrid's Vinicius Junior. What a coup that would be for Arsenal as well, to bring a player of his talent and delights and skills to North London. As we are now into the final 5 minutes of the friendly here in Dublin. Plenty of the fans still remaining in the stands, understandable as well. It's always a great opportunity when Premier League teams who are so much loved in Ireland, like your Arsenals, Liverpools and Man Uniteds, get the chance to come and play here in Dublin. It always brings a good crowd and a following. But at the moment, it's going to be those Betis fans having the time of their life in Temple Bar, splitting the G all night long as it stands. But there will be a little bit of time added on at the end of this second half. Louis Kopish down for a number of minutes after coming on the field for only 7 minutes in total at half-time. Going down with an injury, replaced by Theo Julien. Hopefully nothing too serious for the Arsenal under-21. No crueler feeling for a professional footballer than picking up an injury in pre-season, with so much hope and anticipation going into the new season itself. As O'Neill looks to break away, but giving away a free kick cheaply enough for Betis midway inside of their own half on this nearer channel. So the score into the final few minutes: Arsenal 1, Betis 3. All 4 goals coming in the first half. The pick of the 4, by far the second for Betis, from Nelson Diosa. A thunderous strike from 25 yards away on the 26th minute. An absolutely delightful strike of the ball with the left foot. normally playing as a central midfielder but being trialled in pre-season as a striker by Manuel Pellegrini. He does have a more natural striker. This half up the left-hand side, short infield towards Jesus with a 1-2 pass back towards the Brazilian. Ibrahim now, dead centre of the Betis half. Arsenal looking to try and unlock a few more dangerous passes to see if they have one final say in the final few minutes here in Dublin. Isco laying up the right-hand side towards Anthony. As Anthony now shielded by Ogunaike. Looking to do a few side foot passes, step overs, atypical of the Brazilian, impressing so heavily since his loan from Manchester United. Finding his form and his confidence once again in Seville. And he will be looking to continue that form going into the new season. They kick off against Real Sociedad Friday the 21st of August. Were cheaply given away, and a chance now for O'Neill, but a heavy touch from the under-21 straight back to the green and white Betis shirts. And the composure and the confidence is seen especially in the middle of the park for Betis all evening long. Isco and Fornals, key operators in the middle. Blocking as Firpo jinks away from the tackle, driving up this left-hand side, yards from the near side of the area, ball into the box, still to the back post. Can Anthony keep it alive? He can just about. Laid off now towards Diosa. Firpo in towards the box further, but swiped away by Salmon, high into the Dublin sky, dropping down to Jesus. It's crowded out and surrounded by Betis players, and that one goes out for a throw-in for Jesus, thrown quickly infield towards Nelson. Seconds away now from seeing how much time is going to be added by the fourth official here. There'll surely be at least maybe 2 or 3 minutes given the injury to Copley that had to be assessed, as well as the massive changes that have been made. And it is going to be 3 minutes to be played further here at the end of the game here at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Are there any final goals to come? All of them coming in the first half so far. The plethora of changes made for Mikel Arteta in particular. Just the 7. Just the 7, he says, for Pellegrini. In comparison to the 15 that have been made for Mikel Arteta. Just Augustine and Haraman Anos are the only players yet to come on for Arsenal this evening. Just waiting to see those two players getting up and creep towards the touchline. But it seems to be that these are the 22 on the field that will bring this pre-season friendly to a close. 1 minute gone of the 3. Arsenal 1, Real Betis 3. Season. Exciting times ahead, and in particular for Betis, their first appearance in Europeans Premier competition for over 2 decades. As the ball kept in play from Jesus, load into the box towards Cabia, but Betis clearing the ball away just about, and further still from Morante. Just over a minute and a half to go midway through that added time. Nelson shielding the ball brilliantly, finding Vieira, switching the ball across the box to the left-hand side towards Jesus. One touchdown, drilled across the face of the goal, but going out for a goal kick instead. And that might be the last chance of the game for Arsenal, as 2 minutes of the 3 have now gone. It's been a strong, solid, professional performance from Real Betis this evening. Arsenal started the game brightly. There have been passages and chasing the game for most since going behind on the 9th minute. Rodrigo Riquelme lingering at the back post after the mix-up in the box from the corner played in from Pablo Fornals. So plenty for Mikel Arteta to consider and think about, as Arsenal do win themselves a free kick off the centre circle inside of the Betis half. Just 20 seconds remaining now in this game here in Dublin. All eyes soon turning to the referee. As we wait for this game to draw to its conclusion, Arsenal taking that free kick short, sent long towards Cabia. Lively since coming on, Cabia as well. One of that light. Side of the field, but that one deflecting outwards, and there goes the referee. A delightful performance from start to finish for the team from Seville. Manuel Pellegrini surely pleased with what he's seen this evening from his side. Strike on the 26th from Nelson Diosa. Just 5 minutes later, Piero Hincapié from a corner, heading in from less than a yard away into an open goal. But Pablo Fornals rounding off the scoring on the 43rd minute with a superbly cleanly struck ball beyond Kepa into the back of the Arsenal net. Plenty of legs on the field in the second half. 15 changes of the 17 being made by Mikel Arteta compared to the 7 for Pellegrini. As Hector Bellerin receiving hugs and high fives from previous former teammates of his, of those in Arsenal yellow. But it is the Spaniards that will be happiest tonight in Dublin in this pre-season friendly. It's finished Arsenal 1, Real Betis 3. Thank you all so very much for tuning in for this live audio coverage of this pre-season friendly here from Dublin. And we look forward to bringing you plenty more football in not only pre-season, but the coming season ahead. Thank you all so very much for listening, and I hope you all